Hello, I'm Pamela Davis Brown. Welcome to episode 251 of the Well Done Life podcast. And hello, welcome back to episode 251 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis Brown. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I am so glad that you're here with us this week. I hope that you will stay for a very long time and bring friends. And if you've been here for a while, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to support me. I wouldn't be able to be in this journey without you. And of course, I want you to stay as well and bring lots of friends too. Before we get started with this week's episode, I'd like to be extremely foundational about how we do things here at the pod. Essentially, I want to make sure that you understand that we are creating a safe space. And so since we're creating a safe space, I always like to treat it like we're building a house. And I want to make sure that our foundation is really strong. So for me, it's all about making sure that we are building this foundation on two very important things, and that is clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I really just want to make sure you understand that I created the Well Done Life podcast because I believe in the power of women. I believe in us sharing our stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and creating space for each of us to be seen, to learn, to grow. I'm hopeful that you will learn things here that will prevent you from making the same mistakes that I know I've made, as well as maybe inspire you to see that, you know what, there's certain things that you've kind of been putting off doing that you can do. There's really not anything that you can't do when you put your mind to it. So I hope that you will be motivated through me sharing my journey, as well as I will be having other guests as well here who will be sharing their stories as well, and hopefully creating a resource for you to help you along this journey with this thing that we call life. So welcome. That leads me right into my second foundation, which is love. Love is always going to be the thing for me. I'm a sucker for love. I believe in love. And so everything that we do in this space is always rooted that way. And so for me, it's really important that before we kind of dive into all these topics, that I send prayers to you, because I really do believe in the power of prayer. And I truly believe that there is alignment in two or more people praying together. So I like to stand on a few foundational prayers and share them with you on a weekly basis, and hopefully you feel them. So my first one is going to be peace. It is very crazy out here. We are pulled in so many different directions. I know for myself, I've been extremely busy this last few weeks, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't really been able to come back to the pod so quickly as I thought. It's just life is doing a lot, and I have to prioritize time for myself. I hope that you will do the same and prioritize time for yourself. Sometimes it's okay to grab moments of stillness, especially in moments where it's so chaotic. Take a moment to just breathe, to just sit in your energy. I don't care if that's in your car, in your closet, whatever you need to do, make sure you are carving out time for you. Because in moments of peace, that leads right into my second prayer, which is clarity. It is really important because when you're at peace, your body doesn't have this desire to keep moving. You allow your mind to kind of shut down a bit or to align. And that gives you a chance to just kind of regulate your overall emotions. And that becomes important because, again, like I mentioned earlier, there's so many different things that are coming at us. It is really easy to make crazy decisions because we're just pulled in so many different directions. And so I always believe that when you're able to give yourself moments of peace so that you can sit in stillness and really think about things and have clarity, you're able to make decisions from a much more impactful place. Doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect, but it's not going to feel rushed and hurried. So give yourself those spaces where you can have peace and clarity, especially since there's so much information sometimes thrown at you that you have to be able to see, kind of take a moment to see what really is real and what's not. And you really need that peace and clarity. Everybody doesn't have to have an answer when they want an answer. Sometimes the answer is, I need more time. And there's nothing wrong with that. So give yourself the space to make decisions from an intentional place when you can. And so my first prayers for you are peace and clarity. Along with that, I'm always going to wish you love. That's my third prayer for you. I want you to be surrounded in real love. And I'm talking about the love that you feel from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You know, that love, not just from a relational standpoint, but also from your community, your clique, your people, your tribe, your crew, you know. It's so easy, like I said, because we're moving so fast to get disconnected from the people that you love. make sure that you prioritize moments for the people that you love. I struggle with that sometimes. I really do, because I've been so caught up in things, but please know, I truly try to, I pray for everyone in the world. I pray for my family, for my friends, pray for myself. But I send prayers out into the world because I truly believe that we need good prayer and covering. But for your clique, the tribe, your crew, the people who stand up and show up for you, stand up and show up for them. Even if it's not always through phone calls and texts and stuff like that, when there's moments where you can stand up and show up for them, stand up and show up for them, because it's not just about giving them the gifts of your presence. And a lot of times in those instances, you're able to glean something that's just for you, just something that intentionally was set aside for you to have in that moment. You'd be very surprised. So give yourself that space and time. You deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve the best of you. And then rounding up my prayers is always going to be abundance. I'm going to stand on abundance. Of course, I want you to be financially abundant because you can be a blessing to yourself and to other people. But I also want you to be abundant in your spirit. Like I said, the world is moving very fast. Lots of different information coming at you. Lots of things that we hear on a daily basis that can just, hate to say it, just tear away at us bit by bit. I really hope that in the midst of all of it, you are taking moments to find joy, that you are doing things that make you truly happy, that give you space and memories to fill your cup, because those things last so much more than money and everything else. Create that abundance in your spirit. Those are the things that make your soul glow and your skin. So don't lose sight of that. Give yourself those pockets of peace. So those are my prayers for you this week. I hope you will receive them and they will find you where you need them. So I'm back, and it feels good to be recording again. I took a couple of weeks away because I'm not going to lie. I was with my man child. I was with my husband had come to town, and we were having fun. And I'm really excited about that. And, I really wanted to try to be intentional about our time together. We're already pulled in so many different directions, with family and friends and life and all those things. And we were both trying to work at the exact same time while we visit. And I was like, when we have pockets of peace where it's just us in creating these beautiful moments, I want to make sure that I am present. So I'll be honest, podcasting kind of went to the shelf just a bit, but I want to thank everyone for their support of our last episode, The Pause Was a Plan. It definitely was. It was what I needed. And like I said, I am definitely retuning how we are approaching the podcast. And I told you guys that, I'm on a wellness journey, and we're going to talk a lot more about wellness. And along that lines, I've kind of been thinking about a lot of different things. And something lately that honestly surprised me when it came to me that I want to talk about this week. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I'm like, it probably sounds crazy, but I don't think it sounds crazy. So bear with me. What I have discovered is consistency is sexy. And I'm going to say it again. A consistency is sexy. And I don't want everybody to get carried away. Like, it's not, when I talk about consistency being sexy, I'm not talking about it from a standpoint of, you abs or being fine, sexy, the little or sexy in regards to what size you are. And I'm not talking about someone sliding in your DMs and giving you a little bit of a vibe. I'm talking about something much deeper. And one of the things that I have learned as I'm on this wellness journey, as we are starting to shift our content here in regards to wellness, is that the sexiest thing I've learned in this season of my life is that there is something incredibly attractive about a woman or a man who consistently shows up for themselves. And of course, I'm always thinking about the ladies first, but I'm going to add in men because I know that there are a few men listeners out there as well. And so I want to acknowledge you, even though, yes, this is a space for women, and essentially most of this conversation is going to be about women. But I also want to make sure that I acknowledge the fact that it's not just about us being sexy for us. It's consistency is being sexy for them. It's about showing up for you. And so when I say that, I think instantly people start to think, showing up for yourself. It's like about being perfect. It's about, trying to make sure that you have all the plan laid out. And I'm just going to go ahead and stop that conversation right now. No. It's not about that. It's about getting to that point in your journey where you recognize that the work is worth you showing up for you for. And when I say that, when I talk about it, I'm talking about consistency in the sense that I know for me, I've made the choice that this work, this journey that I'm on is worth it because I'm worth it. And so I show up for the work because I always show up for family, but I'm showing up for obligations and I'm showing up for everybody else. But am I showing up for me? And I'll be honest, I really want you guys to think about that because there comes a point in time when you're on this journey of trying to be the best version of you where you really have to decide that you're going to show up for you. And we're going to talk a lot more about it because I think we surface level say that we are showing up for ourselves. But I really know for myself that it wasn't something that I was truly prioritizing. I wasn't always giving myself the same energy that I gave my job, that I gave my family, that I gave my friends. I was not doing that. And I can honestly say that. And sometimes, no offense, you have to call yourself out on your own bullshit and recognize that, you can be everything to everybody and you are being everything to everybody and you are only being a fraction of that to yourself. And that's exactly why you're in the position that you're in right now. I mean, real talk, that it is. It's like you've committed all this much of yourself. You've given so much. You do all the things and you are a wonderful person, but you are absolutely nothing to yourself. And that's where it's like you have to call yourself out on your BS and you really have to decide, you know what? I'm worth it. And if I keep showing up for everybody else, I'm worth showing up for too. Because it's one of those things that we have to really face. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk about why consistency is sexy. Like why it's sexy in the sense of why it matters, why it's the foundation of every transformation that you are going to make. And while your next level may be tied to you finally deciding to keep showing up for you. And so let's talk about it from the surface level first. We're going to talk about it from the fact that, we also like to celebrate the results, but we don't talk about the repetition that it takes to get those results. Because remember, we're talking about consistency. And when I say that, I mean, let's really be real. We love looking at social media. There is a really big trend. A lot of people are out here getting healthy, which is beautiful. It is. I love it. It gives me so much joy when I am scrolling on threads and I see people who have been like weight loss journey. Like my algorithm is really tuned, I've noticed lately, to a lot of people working out like Body Be Calm. I see tons of GLP conversations, like I guess all the things that I'm kind of going through. And so I love looking at the before and after photos that I see. I love seeing that when I'm on LinkedIn or other things, I see people getting promotions. We love talking about love and healthy relationships. We love talking about successful stories and transformations. But what we don't celebrate when we talk about all those things is the repetition that it took to get there. You know what I mean? We don't celebrate the fact that you had to go out there and walk every day for 30 minutes a day in order to get these 10,000 steps or whatever. And I know that's probably a stretch in 30 minutes, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not talking about the consistency that it takes, the dedication that you're making to move your body every day. We don't talk about the meal prep. Lord knows we don't. I eat the exact same thing every day. I just eat a variation of it. And yes, I do go out and eat, and we'll talk about all those things at some point, and I have food out. But outside of that, I eat the exact same thing, just a variation of it every day. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the fact that I will sit up here and I know for myself, I am scooping out cups of rice, like a third of a cup of rice, a third of a cup of veggies. Like, I'm measuring fat. I'm paying attention to every gram that I put in my body. You know what I mean? We don't talk about that. We don't talk about also from the wellness perspective, the therapy appointments that it takes to mentally keep yourself grounded when you want to have a crash out. And I'm not just talking about going to a therapist. I know I have spent many a day going to my obesity medicine doctor, Dr. Jodine Hill, and crashing out of her office because I'm hungry. and I'm tired and I don't understand why the scale hasn't effing moved, but I'm sitting here starving myself to get to this point. But that's a whole nother conversation. And that's part of it too. Like I got to talk about it. If we're going to keep it real, we're going to keep it real, real. You know what I mean? And we don't talk about the budgeting. We don't talk about the fact that, yes, no offense. Yes, I'm doing a GLP-1. I'm just using it from a health perspective. My insurance is not covering that thing. I have been paying for that. I have paid a pretty penny over these almost 2 years to get here. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the fact that I'm not really spending money out on clothes outside of plane tickets and food and this medication. I'm spending my money in a real practical ways. You know, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about how you give up a lot to make it work. You know what I mean? We don't talk about the fact that you are needing to constantly stay grounded in prayers. And I'm talking about prayers not just for the journey of wealth and health. We're talking about journey for your marriage. We're talking about for your life, for your sanity. We don't talk about the work that it takes, the ordinary Tuesdays when nobody is watching your behind and you are out here dedicated to getting things done. We just like to celebrate the outcomes, but we ignore the process that created those outcomes. And the truth is that your life is built on what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally do, what you repeatedly do. Like, I just keeping it honest, like getting to this point of where I am on my journey. It really is very repetitious. It's really, really boring. It's not sexy. It's sexy to me because I see the beauty and the consistency of it and I see it paying off. But you know, it's not glamorous. What it looks like is glamorous, but what it takes to get there is not. It's not me going to the gym in like the hot girl workout outfits. Girl, I'm going in a t-shirt and some leggings and a head in my cap. And I look probably like I rolled out of bed because I just did, because I'm an early morning warrior. And I'm getting it in because that's what I came to do. I came to put in that work. And so I'm not trying to make it cute. I'm not trying to record it on a video. I'll take a picture when I hit a weight loss goal or when I hit a weightlifting target that I've been trying to get, just so that I'll have it for posterity, but it's not sexy. And we don't talk about those sexy things. We don't talk about the work that has to be repeatedly done, because every result that you have ever wanted is going to be connected to some level of consistency. And you got to be cool with that consistency, even when it's boring. Even when it's boring. Because even when it's boring, it's sexy because it's working. And then that kind of goes into, you're in this mode, you're trying to stay consistent. One of the things that I notice the most why people struggle with consistency is because they're chasing some version of perfection. And it's not about being perfect. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about staying the course. And so you miss a workout. Okay, you miss a workout. You eat something you weren't planning to eat. All right, that happens. God knows it does. I'm eating, y'all. I'm eating. I am losing weight. I am building muscle, but I'm eating. I don't play about food. No offense. I probably should tell on myself right now. I had 10 plain M&Ms tonight. I know that probably sounds crazy that I know exactly how many I have, but I know how many M&Ms I have. But I had them 10 M&Ms and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I have been on a snacking roll today, but I think it's just where I am with my body right now, you know, ovulation and all that good stuff. I'm just and I'm hungry. I'm just going to keep it trill. But I still got my protein in, but that's a whole nother conversation. And so I have an appetite and I'm feeding that appetite. Okay. All right. And the world didn't stop. You know what I mean? You don't understand that there are going to be moments where real life is going to show up, and you give yourself so much stress about real life showing up, when you have to understand that that is a part of the journey. And it's not about being perfect. It's about deciding that, okay, it happened, but I'm going to get back off on the track. And because what happens, I notice with a lot of people where consistency really falls short, is you stop just because something happened. Life happens every day, but you can't stop. And that's what it means when you're consistent, because you recognize that you can't stop and you're like, okay, that was yesterday, but today is today and I'm back in the saddle. Like I told you, I had them M&Ms. I've been eating, snacking, enjoying my little self right now. I'm be back in the gym tomorrow. I'll be back on plan tomorrow. That's the thing. You get to this point where you recognize that it's not about being perfect, but it's about being consistent, and you follow through. And when you follow through, you realize that those one day, that one moment, that one instant is not going to deter your journey unless you deter it. And you have to understand you are the catalyst to that. That's why it's so important for you to understand that one bad day doesn't destroy your progress. It's all about what matters is what you do next. If you decide to just sit in it and give up, then that's going to be your story. But if you decide, you know what, I'm going to get back in and get back and do it right the next day and get back in the journey, then okay, the journey continues. You are that one. It's just giving yourself the grace to understand that being consistent is not about being perfect, because there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. As long as you are consistently committed to you and the journey and your health, you will be successful. You will be successful. You just can't make excuses and expect that every day is going to be perfect. And when that one day happens, you're going to fall off the rails. And then that leads perfectly into my next point, is that the temporary discomfort trap is something that you have to watch out for. And when I say that, I said, let's really, think about how we are doing things in life. A lot of us have forgotten the fact that growth is very uncomfortable. I mean, really, if you are trying to grow in your job, in your life, in your health, in your marriage, money, all of it is extremely uncomfortable doing that. It's not, because let's keep it really from a wellness perspective. Sore muscles are uncomfortable. Let's talk about it from a life perspective. Setting boundaries are super uncomfortable. Going back, drinking water is uncomfortable. Half of y'all are not even drinking like 30 ounces of water. I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm just being real. No offense. We are peddled so much coffee, soda, tea, all this other BS. Not a lot of us are drinking water. And that's half the key right there. Some of us would just drink a little bit more water, at least a gallon. Like, try to get yourself up to a gallon of water a day. Imagine what you could flush out of your body, what you could do. But that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's things that we are just not willing to recognize that can be uncomfortable. Getting up early is uncomfortable, but we can get up early to go shopping during Black Friday and all these things and go on trips, but you won't get up early to go work out every day. That's crazy. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally not shading, because not everybody is an early morning warrior. I am an early morning warrior. That works for me. But if that doesn't work for you, then find a time that works for you, but be consistent and understand that it may be uncomfortable. Maybe you are going to be that person that has to work out after work. And you know what? Might be uncomfortable, but at least you could be consistent because you have chosen you. It's just understanding that there's going to be uncomfort in changing your habits. There's going to be a period when your old life is pulling on you while you're trying to create this whole new one. And you have to really be ready to chop kick that old life behind you and say, no, I'm going to stay the course because I see what's in front of me. And the problem is, I think there's too many people who quit because the discomfort is like, I can't do it. It's just too much. It's like a sign to stop for some reason, when that's really not it. Because a lot of times we get extremely uncomfortable in things when we are close to our goals. That's what we have to understand. Like, a lot of times when you are so close to achieving your goals, your purpose, it's going to get super uncomfortable because you're going to feel that pressure, that pull, like, oh my God, am I really qualified to do this? Am I really capable of doing it? And it's a proof that you're growing because you're uncomfortable. When you are comfortable in a place too long, that means that you are not being challenged and elevated. That's not your place. But when you are able to look in yourself and making consistent habits and changes that are stretching you, that's where true growth happens. And we have to understand temporary discomfort is often an admission fee for long-term freedom. It is. God knows it is. It's not going to always be uncomfortable. And then there's new levels that you will achieve, but you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit in the beginning so that you can create healthy habits that are going to be sustainable long term. And so that leads me into where we are now and why I wanted to do this episode. Because again, I've been kind of talking to you guys about this new season of wellness that I'm in and how I want to talk about it because I don't feel like there's a lot of conversation about health and wellness from a real perspective. Meaning, let's talk about it for people who are not influencers, who are regular degular folks who are managing lives. Like, no offense, I'm a caregiver. I have a 79-year-old. I also have my little sister who lives with me who has a developmental disability, but she is a godsend for me and my mom. And then I'm also married in a long distant relationship. I have a very busy job and I have a life that I'm trying to manage, as well as I'm on this healing and wellness journey myself. I am building this new life, this new me, brick by brick. So I can tell you what it's like to drag your butt up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I can tell you what it's like to have to count all of the food that you are eating in your body and trying to unlearn bad habits while building brand new, amazing ones. I can tell you from a real perspective. I can talk to you about the hormones because I'm on hormones. I can talk to you about the GLP-1 because, yes, I'm on a GLP-1 and I am titrating down to microdosing. And so I can tell you that it can be done. Like, you don't have to stay at the highest level all the time. I'm actually titrating down and still losing weight. And that's a whole nother conversation. We're going to get into it, I promise, because it really is something that I see now possible. And it doesn't mean that I'm saying, oh, I'm going to totally get off of it completely. I don't know if that's my journey. And I'm really not worried about that. I'm worried about creating my long-term goal. And so I will be creating this season because I think it's really important to understand that your wellness journey is a brick by brick journey. And that's what we're going to be doing in this next season. We're going to be building this brick by brick because no one lays one brick ever and gets a full house. Like, you don't do one workout and expect a full transformation. You don't go to therapy once and expect to be completely healed. No one says one prayer and expects every problem to disappear. I hope you get what I'm trying to throw down. I'm essentially telling you that the life you want is built one decision at a time, one walk, one workout, one healthy choice, one boundary, one day, one brick, then another, and then another, until one day, literally, you look up and you're like, oh my God, I have really done something amazing. And I really want you to realize that you can do this because ultimately, the main thing about all of this, the main thing why I have recognized that consistency is sexy, because when you finally choose you are putting yourself in a position where you have finally decided that you are worth the effort. And it's not because somebody else believed in you. It's not because someone else is cheering you on. It's not because someone else needs you. It's because you have recognized that you matter. You have recognized that your health matters, your peace matters, your future matters. And for years, many of us, myself included, we have been choosing everyone else but us. And while there is beauty in caring for others, there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, when am I going to choose me? And choosing you isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's the reason that consistency becomes easier because you finally recognize that you are worth it. You will become so more disciplined because you have recognized that you are worth this, because you are finally showing up for you. Because when that happens, you are giving yourself the ability to recognize that the gift that consistency giving you is not about weight loss. Especially when you're on a wellness journey. I thought that was what it was. I'm not going to lie, for myself. And we will take some time to talk about my story because I have to admit, it has definitely evolved. The first year, I was chasing the scale. This year, I'm chasing me. And let me throw that again so you get it. The first year, I chased the scale. This year, I'm chasing me. Because the greatest gift that He has given me it's been the fact that I trust me now. I really trust me. I really trust me because I've recognized that every time I got up and kept going, every time I keep getting up and keep going, I'm making a deposit inside of myself that I trust my decisions about me. I'm following through for me. Every moment that I follow through for me builds even more confidence. And that confidence isn't built by positive thinking, it's built by evidence. Because the evidence has come from seeing myself over and over again doing this thing and getting better at it. And it's reminded me, and it will remind you that you can trust you. Because I know now I can trust me. And once you trust yourself, everything changes. And I cannot lie, everything changes. Like this year has been so amazing for me. We are only 6 months in, and I am so grateful for what my body has been able to do, what my commitment and consistency has been able to do. Like I today went to the gym and I leg pressed 320 pounds on two legs that have been through it, on a knee that has been totally like rebuilt. Y'all, I tore my ACL, my PCL, my meniscus, and I had a Baker cyst in my right knee several years ago. And I, at that point, thought, it was through. It was through. I was so discouraged. I was so hurt. I mean, I came back, but it took so long. And I still think I carried in my mind that I wasn't capable. I was still, I hate to say it, I was still that fat girl who was trying to overcome, who was trying to figure out who she was, who was trying to figure out her balance. And here I am doing that. And it wasn't perfect. It was hard. Child, I did assisted pull-ups this week. Those pull-ups humbled me. Those assisted dips humbled me. But I did it. And I'm going to go back tomorrow and do it again. And now I'm stronger. I see my body changing. And we'll talk about that because I want you to understand you can lift heavy and you're not going to bulk up this weird way. You're not going to kill yourself. You're going to build yourself and you're going to have the confidence that you need to make this journey last. Like you're not going to give up. And that's what I want you to take from this. I want you to understand that when you flip the mirror on yourself and you recognize the power of your consistency, you will be able to be successful. Because this game is not about a shot. It's not about just micromanaging food. It's about trusting that you can make good decisions about your body, that you can put in the work, even on the days when you don't want to, and that you will produce beautiful fruit. It is so important. It is a brick by brick moment. And I really want you to recognize that because it is so important. Is so important because really that's what it is. If I really want you to understand that consistency is sexy because it creates results. And baby, I'm living proof of results. 320, child. Probably at the beginning of the year, I was just leg pressing like 70. I'm already 6 months into the year and I'm at 320 pounds. Watch me work and see what I can do by the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being consistent. And that's what it is. It's about being consistent because it creates results. Consistency is sexy because it changes the relationship with you. Like, I love me. And I'm not trying to do this perfectly. Believe me, I don't. I struggle all the time. My thigh is twitching right now because I kind of like did a little stretch, but I'm still going to the gym tomorrow. Lord knows everything is cool. I'm gonna take my magnesium, ashwagandha, and progesterone and pray up and be good. But I'm gonna get back in that gym. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about realizing that life is going to happen, but you can make adjustments and trusting that it's not going to mess up and trusting that it doesn't have to be perfect. The one thing is about recognizing that in this journey, for you to be the best version of yourself, it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be about the number on the scale. The number is just the number. The goal is about being a different woman. The goal is about being confident in who you are and believing that you deserve the care and the intention that it will take for you to change your life. And you build that change brick by brick, day by day, choice by choice, because your next level isn't waiting for a different version of you. It's waiting for the current version of you that is willing to choose herself. Because that, my friends, is sexy. So until next time, please keep showing up for yourself. Keep building your life back brick by brick, and let me know what you're doing. And I will be back next week, I promise, with a new episode, because I want to take this a little step further. I want to give you my journey, and we're going to talk about it, where I am now and where I'm going, because I'm actually already starting to make some inroads in regards to what I want to do, hopefully next year, depending upon where I am in my body recomposition journey. And I want to talk about that because I really want to help people understand that you can lift big, heavy weights and still do amazing things. You just got to be willing to put in that work. And I believe that you can do it. You've heard, you need to drink the water, you need to eat this, you need to do that. I'm sure you're hearing all of that. But I want to make sure that you're also hearing that you can do it from a realistic standpoint and build yourself up brick by brick. And I promise you'll see results. So I want to give you some tools to talk about that too, because it does apply to not just your wellness journey, like we kind of alluded to, also to your life. It's time for you to choose you. It's time for you to get consistent. So please, hit me up. You guys know you can email me at thewelldonelife@gmail.com or hello@thewelldonelife.com. You can also hit me up on socials at the Well Done Life Podcast on Instagram and Threads, as well as the Notorious PLDB on Instagram and Threads as well. I do occasionally like Facebook, so you might find me there, and TikTok as well. And so I want you guys to, share your journeys with me so that I can encourage you, because I'm ready for you to be the best version of you, and you are ready for you to be the best version of you. You just have to understand that consistency is sexy, and you're sexy, mama. You got this. Go do this. And let's build ourselves together brick by brick. So that's the episode. Take care, and I will talk to you guys again next week. Bye-bye.